Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV with me, Toby. We're here at the EMEA trading conference with Fix, and it's Mr. Fix himself, Jim Kaye. How are you?
Hello. Very good to see you again. Have you had a good day?
And I'm joined by Scott Charity. Scott, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very good indeed. Thank you. Very good indeed. So another day, another Fix conference.
Yes, another day, another one.
We're here again.
Yeah, the big one of the year.
Absolutely. And it's a round out. I'm looking around. It's a busy venue, a new venue.
Yeah.
And it's been going great so far.
Yeah.
So all the halls are packed out. And it's a really interesting agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Scott, give us a quick intro to yourself first and foremost. Tell us about yourself.
My name's Scott Charity. I would work for Berenberg Bank, and I'm the head of market structure.
I've had an absolutely brilliant day, as always.
Excellent.
We've done this in America, we've done this in Europe, we've done it many, many times, Jim. Congratulations. This has got to top it all, right?
I'm really pleased with it. The team have done a fantastic job. Our members, of course, who set the content, have done a fantastic job. We've had some great speakers. We've had people from all parts of the industry, with regulators, from practitioners, all sorts here on a variety of topics. So really pleased with it.
And today you're here as a Fixed stalwart, one of the legends of the space.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
For my sins, I've been very involved in Fix, the working groups, historically, because different brokers I was at, with the working groups, especially when MiFID II was coming about, the documentation they put together was so helpful internally to explain, which is why the momentum continues and why I do so many things with different working groups now at the moment with Fix.
Absolutely. Well, very much part of the furniture.
Sorry, yes. Sorry to hear that.
So look, we've got as I say, loads of streams, loads of panels, some big conversations happening today. Tell us what you think some of the takeaways are going to be.
Some of the takeaways will be, without boring everyone, there'll be a link to things like the consolidated tape, because over the last year it's been a topic that keeps coming up, and that's only because they're trying to normalise the data. And for those not in the industry, that just means that the information we give to the exchanges, they want to make it standardised, so that information that goes into this tape that can be pushed out for any retail trader or punter to consume can understand what's actually being printed to the market. So the consolidated tape things, both for equities and bonds, is a narrative that's been going not only last year, this year and next year, will continue. But there's lots of things in the industry, which is why there's many people here talking about trade reporting and transaction reporting, because it's all linked into the changes being made for the consolidated tape, even though it came out and was initiated as part of MiFID II many years ago.
Yeah. So I've been here for many years, still coming to this event for many years. This has been a new venue. The venue's been spectacular as well, by the way. I think it's really worked well.
Thank you.
Feedback from everyone's been great.
Yeah.
Not only just the sort of flow of it and everything else, but the food's been fantastic. Everything's been great throughout the whole course of the day. But during to the end of it all, I think one of the key things is the conversations have all been. Everyone is so excited about what's happening at the moment. It feels like this perfect storm of everything happening at the right sort of time. You've got obviously conversations about AI raging at the moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot talking about digital assets. We're talking about the future of people. We're talking about the future of the markets. We're talking about this T+1 consolidated tape. It feels like there's a lot going on within this Fix sort of space right now. Just as a whole, but Fix is right at the centre of it all. So tell me some of the things that you've been looking at. You mentioned there the community creating the agenda. Tell me some of the thinking behind it.
So I guess the way we run this is we run the agenda setting process through a mixture of consulting with members and guiding through the book of work that Fix actually has.
Yeah.
So every single session we have here is some kind of connection to something that the organisation is involved in. And we like that because it stops it from being just a kind of general, like a market structure conference or something.
Yeah.
Not there's anything wrong with those, but we're trying to tie it together to work that our working groups are actually working on, and we can then bring people who actually represent those working groups into the sessions to actually talk about what's going on. So if you look back to in the beginning of the day, for example, when I ran through basically pretty much everything that Fix has done last year and everything Fix has got done this year, and everything on that list somehow ties into what we've talked about at the conference. So carbon trading, starting initiatives looking at how to create standard secondary market trading for that, interoperability of blockchains, there's your digital assets panel, regulation, of course, has been a huge driver of work.
Doesn't go away, does it?
It doesn't go away. There's more and more of it, and that kind of spans most of the sessions actually. They're all there. But that's the beauty of it, and because we have our members setting the content, it's always topical and it's always relevant to what the problems they are facing in their own day jobs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been on the agenda a little while. It feels like it's heating up a little bit this year, as with a lot of the topics on here. So I think if you look at the sort of running theme all the way through, it's about the future. We've got some big stuff going on with the Next Gen Committee, which we'll be talking about later on. Digital assets have been on the agenda for a few years now. That feels like it's hotting up to an interesting place. All over the world, that's a different story. AI's been a theme that's never been more prevalent than it has been over the last couple of months. So it's evolution of everything that we've been talking about. Consolidated tape's been every conference we've been at for a while, but it feels like this is the year, 2025, whilst we're here, that all of these are sort of bubbling up and coming to the fore at the moment.
Yeah,
there's a lot of change.
There's a lot of change, and because of the regulation, the consultation. Again, I don't want to bore people because that was coming out, and now Europe and the FCA in UK are looking at the tender and who's going to run the consolidated tape, which is why from a fixed perspective it's become even more prevalent, because that data has to be standardised and to conform so that whoever runs this consolidated they can consume it and then regurgitate it out for everyone to buy and use. But it will become more of a thing this year, because the thing with the consolidated tape is it's not just the exchanges, it's some of the systematic internalizers, everyone adding to this giant box of data and all this pricing and reporting that needs to be consumed. So it will be an ongoing topic for multiple years to come as well.
And it's been certainly one of the biggest turnouts from what I can remember. I know you guys have worked really hard on that, but it feels like people are there and want to get involved in all this sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pleased with that. I think we've put a lot of work into basically persuading people to come, and that has paid off. I think we've got a very, very large attendance this year. We've got people staying all the way to the end, which is always a challenge for these sorts of conferences, and we're very pleased about that. And we put some design into the whole day to make that happen as well. And the sessions have been very, very busy. So people are interested. Obviously, it's great to see people out here engaging with each other. That's vital. But people are engaging with the content, and that's key. And I think people are learning things.
And so if we look at the sort of working groups that you're involved in at the moment, what's happening with Fix, tell us about some of the priorities there. What's keeping everyone up at night at the moment?
Well, I suppose that is the data standards. It's the changing of some of the fields to make sure the systems are ready and make sure the people along the chain, your clients or your other brokers you're trading with, can consume that information and regurgitate and send it back out again. And then within that ecosystem, there's all the changes for the trade reporting and transaction reporting to make sure that when you tell the regulators that you are conforming to the regulations, the here and now, as well as getting ready for the information that's going through the future.
That is actually noticeable. I mean, I'm doing it because I'm recording when it's quiet or when it's not quiet, when people have been coming out. This has been great. It's like you've obviously got people on the stands and such like, but everyone's there and listening to some of the content. I think that's testament to the quality of conversation we're having and getting that agenda just on point. So what's next for Fix?
Well, we've got more of these, of course. We're in Stockholm in a couple of months, and that's going to be obviously smaller than this, but it's going to be a very similar style, so we're very much looking forward to that. We've got plenty of work to do. There's no question about it. I've got a bigger team now, and I think that means that our delivery capability has gone up a level, which it needs to, because the ask has also gone up a level. So I'm very excited about what I think we can do as an organisation for the industry this year. And of course, it's a call to arms to our members and the industry as a whole to get involved. I mean, we are here as the kind of custodians of a process, but we're not there to be the subject matter experts in that process. We're not those people. We need our members. We will facilitate, but they have to turn up and give us the content, and then we can make great things happen.
There's a lot of talk at the moment, and I know a lot of effort is going into the whole next gen piece as well. We're seeing a sort of evolution of the markets and a sort of new, going back to that whole thing with the future of it all. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts there. It seems to be like we're getting a new breed coming through as well within Fix.
Yeah, there's a lot more people now. I think there are a lot more graduates that are coming through because Fix have now pushed it with the younger generation and trying to get them informed and working with the industry and with everyone else and going the same way down the river. That's things like the T+1 initiative. So when Europe as a whole, because they've all agreed to go T+1 virtually at the same time, that when that comes up, that everyone in the next gen is aware of what T+1 means and the ramifications of it. So just for the audience, that just means that when you trade, it is settled the next day. unlike crypto where it's settled straight away. But because it's an industry thing and there's big investment banks trading, it will be settled the next day. And we're just following suit of the US.
Another day job. You're talking about a lot of change in your particular space. Tell us a little bit about what's happening there.
It's mainly talking about the changes to the new unbundling rules that will be coming up this year, and that's how research can be paid for and how people that consume the research can pay for it. The T+1 is an ongoing theme more than anything because we know it's going to come, and there's multiple things, but it's more back office operations and informing people, you will have to do this, you will have to do that. As I said, I was in South Africa last week speaking to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and multiple people there, and I flagged that South Africa is very European as a venue, so they need to be in line with the T+1 rather than just ignore it, because once it comes into Europe, it will then inevitably go over to Asia. So they need to be in line just because of the timelines involved, because then it actually comes down to not what's T+1 and how things are settled, but the timeline globally and when something is bought or purchased and when it is settled.
We're talking today on March the 6th. It's the start of the year, a year of transformation, I think, all around it, which seems to be accelerating at pace. Get your crystal ball out and tell us a little bit about what you think is going to happen this year. What are some of the key things that you feel are going to be changing the markets?
From a regulatory point of view or just from an industry point of view?
Yeah, I think the industry and the regulation, there's a lot happening in both areas, right? So, pull the chain and run free.
I mean, from a regulatory point of view, it was quite interesting. I know I'm talking about T+1 again, but when the EU... When the EU published their information 4 or 5 weeks ago, they actually mentioned T0 for the first time, which means that as soon as they've put that there, within 6 months' time, once people actually regurgitate this information and it sinks in, T+1 will come along and T+0 will be a thought, but it's nowhere near on the horizon at the moment. That, along with carbon trading, will become more of a forefront as the European regulations change. So when you bring a boat in and it docks off of Europe, you have to pay an offset to have carbon. That will become more of a thing because there'll be more owners of boats, companies that own boats that are going to have to do it, which means that also carbon trading will be on more of a forefront, whereas before it's a non-existing thing, and you just look at, when you fly, you look at your invoice and on the bottom left-hand corner it says what your carbon footprint is. That'll become more of a thing. Other things will be the consolidated tape. When the tenders come up, and there'll be the amount of effort that people are going to be able to create the information for the consolidated tape. And then how you're going to consume it.
Exactly, yeah. Well, listen, we're so proud to be involved in this. We love it every single time we do it. Thanks for giving us the opportunity again. Thanks for a great show. I guess now it's onto the networking and drinks.
That's exactly it, and then the real work starts.
You can enjoy that now.
I will do. Thank you.
Well done.
A pleasure. Thank you so much.
So busy time, a busy day.
Yeah.
Lots to pick up, lots to listen to, lots to hear about.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be other themes as well, which we probably won't even touch on, like cryptos, like a boomerang. It keeps coming back again over and over again. But
it feels like a really interesting phase of that. There's a whole panel later on today on the streams, isn't it?
Yes.
We've got a few of the speakers from that panel coming on today. Really interested to hear where they're at in the cycle right now.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to hear what they're doing because of the regulations called MiCA, which is MiCA, if anyone wants to Google it. They'll be coming up as well this year, and the SEC in the US are changing the regulations as well. So it'll be tweaks about what's happening with the crypto world, because obviously from a holistic point of view, you have those what we class as retail, but my dad buying stuff, and my dad knows what the price of Bitcoin is on a secondly basis, but he doesn't know what the price of Vodafone is. So there'll be more, I would imagine, more of an emphasis on that, and then giving that data available to those people to want to see what the prices are.
Well, Scott, I'll let you get back to it. Enjoy it today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of FinTech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.